Hello people of YouTube, it's Deepak here, and welcome to the DCS news for the 4th of June 2022. Sorry it's been a little while since you've all seen me. I had a couple of breaks because I was visiting Scotland and going to friends' weddings, basically, friends and families' weddings. Welcome to the stream Tog, welcome to the stream Storm Cambar, and welcome to the stream Tech Gaming 45. Go ahead and message me in chat. I'm always monitoring chat during these streams, and very happy to give you all shout-outs and answer any questions that you might have. No tutorial this week, a couple of reasons. One of them was that I was originally planning to do a video on the harpoon for the FA-18C, but sadly it's a little bit bugged right now, but Eagle know about it and they're working on the problem. So I'll be able to do a proper tutorial video on it once the harpoon is working correctly. So in the meantime, most likely I'll switch forwards and do the SLAM and SLAM-ER missiles instead. They're very, very similar, but they're designed as cruise missiles instead of anti-shipping missiles. Welcome to the stream, Yogi. Good evening, good evening. I'm doing all right. dotChuckles sadly is still not back with us. Still a little bit under the weather. But very hopeful that he'll be returning to the stream at some point soon. And if you're watching, Chuck, get well soon, and wish you all the best. And I'm sure that chat is also rooting for you and wishing you well. But yes, I expect we will see him at some point again. Yes, so I'll be doing another F-18C tutorial video next week, and that will be almost certainly on the SLAM, unless they've managed to fix the harpoon missiles. I did see the F-15E videos that they've posted, all about the multi-purpose displays. Those are actually kind of cool. Don't really teach us all that much that we didn't already know, because this is stuff that if you've ever played Jane's F-15E Strike Eagle, you'll already know how these work. But yeah, pretty cool. Yes, indeed, Channel Right, well spotted. There is a Baby Yoda, how does mirrored images work over here? Yes, there is. Who else will be there to complain about the F-15 release if Chuckles isn't around? I'm sure he'll be about by then. We're not expecting to see the F-15 until much later in the year. And even then, early access. So, anyway, let's get started with the news, as always. Let's jump into last week's newsletter, because I didn't do a news stream last week. Grogu loves you all. Yogi, what's the problem with the harpoons? Oh, okay. I can quickly go over that. I made a post in the bugs forum for Eagle describing it. But bearing only launches are working fine. But the more advanced bearing and range launches don't work. The missile drops free of the aircraft, and then it appears to disappear. But what it's actually doing is it's appearing underneath terrain, or at least in the missions that I put together when I was testing it, that's what happened. Another person in the forum was able to create a track file demonstrating exactly the same behavior. So it works fine in bearing only mode, but if you try to use it in range and bearing launch, it drops away and then disappears. And you can never hit anything with it, which is not super useful. Channel Right, did you see the TALD video? Yes, I did, and in fact that's one of the videos we're going to be taking a little look at during the news today. LJ, how about better engines for the F-18? You mean the Super Hornet? Because the version of the Hornet that we have, the F-18C, it has the engines it has. That's just the ones that it has. I'm not aware. I could be wrong. I'm not a big source of information on the Hornet, but my understanding was it wasn't until the Super Hornet that they installed different engines. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it has the engines it has, pretty much. So, jumping into the newsletter from last week, it's with pleasure we give all of our owners of DCS F-18C, Hornet and DCS F14 Tomcat some inspiring new liveries now available in the latest open beta. We're excited to see what you'll use them for. This is, of course, all about Top Gun Maverick. As we continue to work on the Hornet roadmap, we're adding the AIM-7P air-to-air radar-guided missile. It's a similar missile to the AIM-7M, with an increased blast fragmentation warhead from 39 kilos to 40 kilos. We're also working on the ADM-141A Tactical Air-Launched Decoy. We'll actually be seeing that a little bit later in a video that Matt Wagner posted. And we encourage you to stay tuned for the next update. The DCS F14 Tomcat is now available as part of the Maverick Legacy Bundle this weekend only. You can, so this is actually out of date. I won't bother repeating the rest of this, but last weekend there was a sale on the F14. But if you're looking at this now, you've missed it, sadly. Be a Maverick, a tribute F14 Tomcat. It's with great pleasure that we bring you DCS Maverick. Please enjoy and make sure to update to the latest version to receive the new DCS FA-18C Hornet and DCS F14 Tomcat liveries. We look forward to your feedback. Stay healthy, and as always, fly safe. They posted a video. I won't bother going over it here because it's really just a cinematic. But Eagle Dynamics posted a video paying tribute to Top Gun Maverick, using music that sounded very similar but not quite the same as Top Gun movie music, and it was pretty good. Check it out if you've not seen that one already. It was rather entertaining. Yogi, oh, that's strange. I hadn't come across that range and bearing only mode problem. I used it fine with the C mode radar. I did it very recently. That's interesting, because if you're using a radar lock, then you are in range and bearing mode. I was using range and bearing mode against a waypoint. I don't know if that could make the difference. Don't know. I didn't use the radar, and for me it didn't work. Strange bug is indeed strange. Development progress report on the F-18C Hornet. We're working on the next update for the Hornet, and we're happy to announce the AIM-7P and ADM-141 TALD will be released in the next open beta update. We're currently finalising sparks when firing the gun at night. That's bloody cool. And have crushed many of the multiplayer mission bugs which were apparent when several supercarriers are in a mission. AIM-7P. This is pretty much repeating what they said further up. It's very, very similar to the M model. It was primarily an upgrade program. The main changes are to the software and improving the low-level performance. A follow-on Block 2 upgrade added a new rear receiver that allowed the missile to receive mid-course corrections from the launching aircraft. Plans initially called for all M versions to be upgraded, but currently Ps are being issued as required. So AIM-7M is still pretty much the standard IRL. And the TALD, ADM-141A TALD, used to help suppress surface-to-air missile systems by distracting them with false targets. TALDs can also trick hostile raiders into emitting and allowing them to be attacked by anti-radiation missiles. They can also be used to confuse hostile air-to-air radar operators. In the first Gulf War, hundreds were launched by A7s and FA-18s on the first night of the war. Actually, if you're interested in that, there's a really good video by there's a YouTube channel that creates animated, the operations room that creates animated recreations of battles, and the operations room has a very, very good video on exactly this. An additional purpose is to act as a target practice for radar-guided air-to-air missiles. In the above screenshot, you can see a Hornet carrying TALDs to act as AIM-7 practice targets. And we'll take a little look at a video shortly where our man Matt Wagner demonstrates the launching of these. And then we've got these promotional bundles, which sadly are no longer available. Well, sorry, the sale is no longer on. I mean, the liveries that are demonstrated here, Top Gun inspired liveries, are still, of course. That channel is A1, says Bobble Ballista. I absolutely agree. I watch that all the time. It's a lot of fun. Really, really interesting to see these historical operations recreated in such detail. Content for days. And this week's newsletter, this one was just released yesterday, on Friday. Dear fighter pilots, partners and friends, we are happy to share our continued efforts to create the best possible FLIR image simulation. We've been working on the MFCD's backlighting for the A10C tank killer, targeting pod and infrared guided Maverick air-to-surface missiles, whilst improving the default level and gain settings for the Hornet and the Viper FLIR sensors. We've completed the R60M air-to-air missile and the Cord machine gun installation for the Mi-24P Hind, and we're now focusing on the gunner animations. Check out the details below. Over those in just a moment. Oh, well done, Storm Kambari. You found that one? Yes. the operations room an excellent channel. Following the large update to the DCS F14C Viper's available G instantaneous turn performance, this wasn't too long ago, we are close to releasing the planned update to the flight control system, the FLICS. This is another step towards bringing the Viper's performance closer to available references and CFD modelling. And yeah, more information on the FLIR. Based on feedback from the community, we've tuned the FLIR image level and gained settings for both the Lightning and AT FLIR targeting pods, as well as infrared guided Maverick air-to-surface missiles. The next main task is to complete infrared textures for all ships and aircraft. This will include FLIR effect improvements to explosions, smoke, dust. In my opinion, these are already very good indeed. Are they giving us any images of what this looks like exactly? Oof, yes they are. And yeah, actually you can see straight away there in the Viper's FLIR, it's already a bit more detail there than we're used to seeing. Oh, actually, wow, okay. And the A10's one looks even better to my eye. They said that they were adjusting the way the backlighting works, because of course in the case of the A10 these are LCDs. In the case of the F16, are these LCDs or are these CRTs in this version of the F16? These might also be LCDs, I can't quite remember. Either way, they're both looking really good, nicely improved. Mi-24P Hind. New weapon for the Hind is the R60M Missile that will be available with the next Open Beta update. In order to use it, you will need to tick the R60 equipment box in the helicopter slot in the mission editor. It is active by default. This will place additional equipment in the cockpit, which is used to engage and prepare missiles for launch. In reality, this equipment and its wiring is installed within 3 hours. Okay, fair enough. Hopefully we don't have to wait for that. TOG, sustained 9.3 Gs. Yes, that's correct, which is many Gs. Yogi, when will you be doing the SLAM ER tutorial? I'm actually intending to do the SLAM tutorial next week, so the SLAM ER would be the week following that. So in 2 weeks, in effect. The APU60I and APU60-2 missile launchers are placed on the outer weapon rack pylons, and they can accommodate 1 or 2 missiles per launcher respectively. After the missile's power is engaged, warm-up will take 1 minute before it can be used. The pylon selector on the same panel will choose the missile launcher, and after the missile launcher is switched on, it will take an additional 10 seconds for the missile's gyros to spin up. The R60 missiles use the Peltier effect, which is also called thermoelectric cooling. It transfers heat from one side of the device to the other and does not use any additional consumables to cool the seeker. So unlike the Sidewinder, which in earlier versions used liquid nitrogen coolant? Liquid nitrogen, I think. So yes. Yogi, where can we find the new Top Gun Maverick skins? In your DCS installation, Yogi. All you have to do is install updates, and it's available as standard in the open beta. Stevie B, oh hi, welcome to the stream, Stevie B. So the pilot uses the ASP-17V aiming sight's inner circle to aim and obtain a missile tone for launch. If the missile locks a target, its seeker is uncaged automatically and tracks the target within the seeker's capabilities. If target lock is lost, the seeker is recaged automatically. It is worth mentioning that the missile was used against ground targets as well, and we're planning to add this capability later within DCS overall. And here, check this chappy out. I wonder, do we have this animation somewhere? We don't, but we have the gunner's view of the cord. So yeah, we'll now have the ability to mount the cord machine gun to the Mi-24. That's going to be rather exciting. The cord heavy machine gun and gunner are also being prepared for DCS Mi-24P Hind. The new 3D character model and animations are nearing completion, and we're planning to release it in one of the upcoming updates. You will be able to mount the machine gun on the right or left side of the helicopter, and it will have the same features as found in the Mi-8 and Huey door gunners. So I guess that means you're going to have those options for controlling their rules of engagement and such like. Yogi, what improvements can we expect with the new Sparrow? Well, they mentioned the fact that it has a larger warhead, it has a better ability to track at low level, and the Block 2 has a mid-course update feature via a data link. How much of that they'll model, I don't know, but I would assume they're going to model all of it. So yes, it'll be a bit improved. General says, yep, they're for the F14 A and F18C. So yeah, they're just in-game. You don't need to do anything special. F-16C Viper development progress. The new Viper flight control system, FLICUS, improvements include increased negative G capability, a smooth transition between flight and landing gear down modes. That's good, because actually sometimes it has been a bit abrupt. Improved roll rate logic, greater rudder authority that allows knife edge passes, eliminated yaw stability when low and very fast, as well as a reduced G bucket effect when at high G and decelerating through Mach. Interesting. I've never experienced that. I'll need to muck around with this and get a feel for it. The Viper will have the ability to sustain 9.3 G when the energy state allows, and the FLICUS gains in landing and aerial refueling modes are also being updated. Additionally, improved stability when firing the gun, and greater negative G will be available when using the manual pitch override. Also, FLICUS allows you to hold negative 3G, which, if you were the pilot in that aircraft, you would not enjoy. Stay tuned for these updates coming soon. Negative G sucks. It's really, really horrible. So that concludes the newsletter for this week, but we have a bunch of other stuff that's happened in the last week or two as well. We've got some new videos from Matt Wagner. He demonstrates the GB24 A and B models in the F-16C. These are very, very similar to what we already had in the FA-18C. It's a more advanced version of the 2,000-pound laser-guided bomb. And these ones are capable of gliding further. Actually, check my my fairly recent tutorial video on the F-18 where I demonstrate the GB24. They glide a bit further and they have a greater level of accuracy than the standard Paveway 2 class of weapons. So, pretty cool. Dog. Unrealistic. Needs to be a mounted Mosin Nagant for reality's sake. Has anyone ever fired a Mosin Nagant from the crew cabin of a Hind? Almost certainly. I think that has probably happened. Almost certainly in Afghanistan during the 80s. So yes, I would also like to see that. And why does YouTube always step down video quality when I'm trying to show you guys things? I don't know. Don't know why. So anyway, our man Matt Wagner goes into a detailed demonstration of how to launch the GB24. I'm going to skip forward to when something exciting happens. He demonstrates the programming of it, which is pretty cool. You've got a lot of functionality here where you can set like intended release angles and things like that. Yeah, whole bunch of rather cool stuff. Yeah, you can even choose at what queuing range you want it to tell you to drop and so on. And then he goes ahead and drops the weapon. Get a bit further in so we can see the magic happen. Okay, he's at his correct altitude, bar is dropping. And GBU away. Both GBUs away, in fact. And he demonstrates destroying some kind of, looks like a transport aircraft that he actually blats. A 2,000-pound laser-guided bomb would most certainly do the trick. We're going to see a large explosion. Give her more. I think he was also demonstrating the automated firing of the laser as well, which I'm not sure if that was always simulated in the F-16, but certainly is now. It also confirms the laser code at the bottom. I'm also not sure if it used to do that. Boom. So yeah, very impressive. So that was GBU24, both the A and B model. That's not in the game yet, but it will be at the next open beta. We then also have a video from Matt Wagner all about the TALD, which we've already spoken about. This is the air-launched decoy. The F-14 already has something very similar to this in-game. I'm not sure if it's the same one or not, but it has a very similar weapon. The Hornet is capable of carrying quite a few of these. You can get 3 of them on a rack, so I guess that means you could carry a total of 12, I guess. He tells us in the video, and I can't quite remember. In this demonstration, I think he has 6 of them on board, but it may be possible to carry a lot more. Do you know, John? Hello, Deepak. Do you know when flash sale will be on DCS or any discount period? I think you just missed one. Do you know, John? I think the most recent sale pretty much just finished like a week or two ago. So I imagine we won't have one imminently, but they do sales quite regularly. So you're going to see one at some point, I would imagine, at some point soon. Big fan here of your tutorials. Thank you very much, sir. I salute you. Very kind of you to say so. So yeah, this video, he demonstrates how to deploy these. It's sort of ridiculously simple. You don't really do very much at all. Actually, let's see, if we jump forward to the bit where he actually programs it, I think you literally just select it. Yeah, you select it and then you press pickle. Like, there's nothing to it. These are not powered, they just glide, and of course, the higher and faster you are, the further they're going to go. But they've got no capability to like choose a heading or do anything clever like that. So you've got to basically point your aircraft where you want them to go and pickle. LJ, July 4th? What's happening on July 4th? Oh, that's when the next sale is, you think, LJ? Okay, that may be the case. Yogi, there will probably have to be another sale in the summer, probably in July. Okay, yeah, that may well be the case. So anyway, he demonstrates dropping a few of these in order to distract a surface-to-air missile system, and then he fires a harm, just as the sort of chef's kiss to that situation. And as I recall, it was rather effective, because it ends up, yeah, it's an SA-11, it ends up firing a bunch of missiles all at the TALDs, and completely ignores the harms which come in and destroy it. So very effective in the end. Yeah, usually follows holidays. So this was another good video from Matt Wagner. I strongly recommend you check it out and have a little look. Now this one I was very excited about. I think this is kind of a cool one. We have the trailer at last for the DCS MB-339. Sorry if you can hear the noise outside, it's ridiculously noisy right now. So yeah, we get this really cool looking trailer for the MB-339, a new jet training aircraft for DCS. Leo says F-15 and South America. We don't have any news on the South America map right now, other than it should be released imminently, and the F-15 is going to go into early access near the end of this year. So this is looking pretty cool. I haven't seen this trailer yet, so I'm also watching it for the first time here. And sadly, not including audio, because we'll get copyright struck. But it's looking very cool. Gear up animation looks pretty accurate to me. Looking very, very nice. A really nicely detailed external model here. Looking really good. And I heard a lot of people say before that even the free version of this mod was very impressive. So I can only imagine they've done quite a bit of additional development here. And there we are in the super cool Italian display team colours. I know, right? Well, I don't know what the hell all that noise was. What price do you think they'll release the MB-339 at? That's not been announced yet, so I couldn't tell you. India Fox Deco will almost certainly tell us some point soon. So, whooshing about in all its glory, the MB-339. Very nice. I'll almost certainly be grabbing this. I rather like the training aircraft, and I know that people in DCS are rather split on these because they don't see them as having much of a purpose. It actually does have a light CAS and light strike role as well, so you can use it as a combat aircraft. But I quite enjoy flying these aircraft just for training. So literally just doing nav, doing takeoffs and landings, that kind of stuff. Yeah, they're a bit of fun. This one actually has an INS, which is quite unusual for training aircraft, so you can do some more complicated navigational tasks with it, which is nice. Yogi, what? Oh yeah, that's already spoke about that. Do know, I would like to see more tutorials of F-16, I guess, S300. Well, that's a tall order. Those are very advanced systems, but yes. I could almost certainly put something together on that. I am not necessarily a SEED expert, But we have some seed experts in the VAF who have been doing a bunch of training, so I could refer to their training with their permission and maybe put something together. That could be fun. Here we see the MB-339 unleashing a whole bunch of boom on people at one stage while being on fire, there without a tail. Oh, it has the same runway penetrating bombs that the Mirage 2000C has. That's very interesting. The BAPs. We love the BAPs. Julian, I want to buy it because I want the G91 project to succeed. Fantastic. Yes, that would be cool. When do you think they'll release the MB-339 for early access? They have not announced, so we simply don't know. They had, when they put this trailer out, they specifically said they don't have a release date yet. So, and this was posted yesterday. So yeah, as of yesterday, they said they have no release date yet, but they hope it's going to be soon. Next item was Magnitude 3 provides a summer update on the F4U, the F8, and the MiG-21. This one's kind of cool. What I'm going to do is I'll start with a video that they posted, which I thought was rather nice. It's the cockpit illumination for the F4U-1D Corsair. Could it have any more bits to its designation? Why am I speaking like William Shatner? I don't know. I just don't know. But here's a quick demonstration of the cockpit lighting. This is actually in the model view, as opposed to actually being in game, but it should give us a good feel for what they've created here. So yeah, we've clearly got lots of individual white console lights, or white floods, here for the cockpit. But I believe this cockpit also had a whole bunch of backlighting for the instruments as well, which I assume they're going to demonstrate any moment now. Okay, maybe I'm going to push this forwards a little bit. There's some blue lighting. General, been thinking about getting a Warbird. Are they super touchy? Well, of course, they're quite a bit more difficult to fly than some of the modern jets, yes. Depends which one you choose, though. Some are more forgiving than others. I'm not a big fan of the World War II aircraft. I do own a handful of them, but it's not really my forte. So I would defer that question to someone else. Perhaps chat can answer for you. Oh, wow. India Fox Echo visual simulations in the chat. Hello there. Very, very nice to have you. IFE team aims to publish a complete module. Yes, indeed. And it looks very, very nice indeed, I must say. Really, really showing it off nicely in the trailer there. Julian, Fiat G91 light attack from the 50s from Italy/Germany. Splendid. And yeah, here we go. We see the F4 now with some of the blue backlighting. Was I wrong, or does it actually have instrument backlighting as well? We seem to have, yeah, the green instrument backlighting here as well. This video is quite lengthy, just showing off the instrument lighting, but it's rather nice. You can see all the different options you have here for creating a readable cockpit at night. Very honoured to have India Fox Deco right here in the channel. Really, really nice to have you here. So anyway, that was the video that came along with this update. So the team at Magnitude 3 have been busy, and it sounds like their key focus area right now is on the F4U-1D Corsair. The dev update reports that they are working towards some finishing touches on the airframe, including some of the animations for various systems. The update includes a series of short videos showing off the animation work. The attention to detail is extreme. They're also talking about how they've revamped the lighting and cockpit illumination for both conventional and lamps. Actually, just occurs to me, with India Fox Echo right here in the chat, perhaps we should redirect your questions about release date directly to India Fox Echo. I don't know if you can say anything, but if you can, I'm sure you have chat's ear now if you would like to say anything. In the meantime, I'll continue going through this update from Magnitude 3. They're also tackling some adjacent items. They've built a series of Japanese World War II assets. Those assets include a Hoga tank, a Type 88 flak gun, and a Type 94 truck. Everything's been created at very high detail level. and apparently the next step includes, or pardon me, involves including them in DCS World. And do we actually have, yeah, here we go. Here's the 88 flak gun. Here's the Hoga, which looks a lot like a Renault tank to me, but maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Looks like the Renault tank. And yes, a truck. Isn't it a Hago? Yeah, that's what I said. Those assets include a Hago tank. I don't know if you're telling a joke or not. Anyway, I'm going to continue. The Essex Class is making some headway as well. It sounds like it's mostly in the hands of the programmers right now, who are adding things like the AI taxi routes, getting the weapons working, and programming the movable elevators. When F4U Corsair comes, it does sound like it will be surrounded with a decent amount of supporting content. It should be interesting. And yeah, there's a little picture of an F4 painted black sitting inside one of those elevators on the Essex Class. Very cool looking. F8J Crusader progress. This time around we didn't get to see very much of the F8J. This Cold War era jet fighter appears to be taking a bit of a back seat, while Magnitude 3 focus on the Corsair. However, they do have progress to report. The pilot model appears to be coming along. It's not yet fully textured, but is packing in plenty of details, right down to the survival vest, life preserver, and flight boots. Most Japanese tanks were jokes deep, and you called it a Hoga. Ooh, thank you. Okay. Well spotted. Hago. How did I do that? I don't know. Meanwhile, the team have also apparently ventured over to the Plains of Fame Museum to take some photos of the Crusader that is stored there. It's not, by the photos, exactly airworthy, but it should provide some good references, especially for damage textures. And then, this one I was very interested in, because I'm a big fan of the MiG-21, although I haven't flown it that much recently. Magnitude 3 have mentioned a desire to keep the DCS MiG-21 BIS in top shape, and have mentioned a 2.0 iteration before. It looks like that is moving ahead. The team have doubled the size of their library on the MiG-21, which will enable better systems modelling. Meanwhile, the research team have also taken highly detailed 3D scans to aid in the rebuilding process. The images are at a level that we could have only dreamed of a few years ago. Photogrammetry scanning has really picked up. The results are images like the ones below. So, something a little bit like this. Now, of course, they can't immediately turn this into a model and put it into the game. It needs a lot of touching up and tweaking and so on. But this is a very, very impressive 3D scan of a real cockpit of a MiG-21. And I have to say that the cockpit that they already have in-game looks very, very close to this, in my opinion. So, I feel like they've already done a really, really good job of this. And I think this is only going to up the detail level that we see in that module. Really excited for this, in fact. Once they do some of these updates to the 21, I will absolutely take it back out again. Might even do some more videos. I did quite an extensive tutorial series on the MiG-21 at the time when it came out, which was a good number of years back now, and in a much, much earlier version of DCS. But I may well re-record these if they do a major update to the 21. Storm Kimbari, if it were Hawaiian, would it be Aloha? Or a Kamaha? I can't even say what you've typed there. Storm Kimbari, armed with the finest spirit bombs. Yes, indeed. Sounds very tasty. And to think they wanted to train farmers to fly these MiGs. That is a lot of switches. Keep in mind that in typical Russian fashion, a lot of these are not really switches, they're actually circuit breakers. So for some reason, this is the same in the Mi-8. You see that the Mi-8 has a huge number of switches in the overhead, but almost all of them are circuit breakers. And during the course of starting up the aircraft, you pretty much just flip them all to the on position. You don't do very much with most of these switches other than just turn them on. So don't feel too intimidated by these. You mostly just flip them all up and then leave them alone. Cool. Alrighty. So that concludes all of these updates. I actually wasn't going to bother to cover it originally, but I will quickly bring up those F15 videos that were mentioned a little bit earlier, because they are rather cool. I'm not going to play them all the way through. But they even demonstrated some things that I wasn't aware of in the F-15, even having flown Jane's F-15 Strike Eagle. The ability to create mappings between master modes, and also to have these programs that allow you to flip through the pages in a very, very similar fashion to the way the F-16 works. So very, very cool to see this. But during the course of this video, the chappie, whose name I forget, demonstrates the fact that you can program up different pages on each of your MPDs to appear automatically in certain master modes. And you can see he's already done it on the left-hand side here for air-to-air and air-to-ground. It's possible to create programs for air-to-air, air-to-ground, and nav modes. Instrument mode is default mode that you can't reprogram. Tog. Okay, Vasily, you flip all switches on and you go. That's almost how you start up a MiG-21. I have what I think is a cool video on starting up a MiG-21, where I demonstrate the kind of scramble startup, the interceptor scramble startup, where you flip all the switches, you fire up the engine, and you just go. And I was able to do that very, very quickly. I think I had the aircraft started up in less than 2 minutes, which is very impressive for any aircraft, I would say. Yogi, what's your prediction on the early access of the Typhoon? I think absolute best case, you might see that next year. Yeah, might see that next year. Tog, isn't that Wolfpack 345? Let's hit escape and find out. It's actually directly on the Razbam channel. So I'm just gonna assume you're correct. I don't know. Alienware, F-16 does that via DTC. Yeah, actually, well, the F-15 would also do that via DTC. The problem is that DCS at this time does not simulate DTC. Although Eagle have they've claimed that they are going to be implementing that at some point soon. They're also going to add it into the SDK, and that would allow third parties to also make use of it. But they've said that it will be coming to the F-18 and the F-16. And of course, once it's in the SDK, everybody else can implement it too. Tog, or am I thinking of someone else? Don't know. Tog, I'll look later and confirm on Discord for you, if it is. Too lazy to look right now. I just assumed it was going to be on the guy's channel, but these videos are actually on Razbam's official channel, so I don't recall who actually made them, but yes, they're on Razbam's channel. And very, very detailed, very interesting, and I can only assume he's going to continue to create these, so we're probably going to see a lot more information, a lot more interesting information. I'd be very interested to see demonstrated this version of the UFC as well, how that works, because it's quite advanced, and seems to have volume dials for 4 radios. I didn't realize the F-15 had 4 radios. And it's labeled here R1, R3, 2, R4. So pretty damn cool, I think. Very interesting video. So that's pretty much all the news that we had for this week. So as always, at this stage, I'm going to give a big shout out to the VAF. The VAF, the Virtual Air Force, is an online squadron created by myself and dotChuckles. We were the founders of it. It's kind of taken on a bit of a life of its own at this stage. It's opt-in style of kind of milsim online squadron, where you can join as a freelancer and fly whatever aircraft you want, and you don't have to attend any training, and you can just turn up at our sessions as and when you like, fly whatever you like whenever you would like. Or you have the option of joining one of our numbered squadrons, taking part in mandatory training, and basically being trained up to a higher standard, which is quite fun. We've got numbered squadrons at the current time for the Harrier, which I'm the squad leader for, but also the F-14, the F-16, the F-18, the A-10, and the Apache, all of which providing kind of comprehensive basic training, which is mandatory, and then also offering qualifications, which are optional additional bits of training that you can take on. And these are for things like night operations, in the case of the Harrier, ship operations, air-to-air refueling, and other kind of complex things that you might need a bit of practice on. You'll find the link to our Discord in the show notes below, but also Storm Kimbari has posted it into the chat just now. Please go ahead and take a little look. You're all very, very welcome to join the Discord, even if you just want to hang out and have a chat. You'll find people such as myself, dotChuckles, Frantic, and so on, hanging out in there. But also, if you would like to join one of our squadrons, then please say so in the general chat, and you'll be very, very welcome to come fly with us. Tog, this is the way. Storm Barry, I've spoken. So yes, please do. Please come and join us on the VAF Discord. It's a great laugh, a really good group of people there. And then it really just leaves for me to say that I've been Deepak. Every week, or normally every week, I haven't in the last few weeks, I post a tutorial video. Currently I'm doing a series in the F-18C Hornet. Next week I intend to do one on the Slam, unless the Harpoon gets fixed. If the Harpoon gets fixed in the meantime, I will do a video on the Harpoon anti-shipping missile. These videos are posted as a premiere on a Saturday, always followed by the DCS news, which just happens to be this thing, what you're watching right now. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and comment. It's a really big help to me and to the channel. And I just saw Yogi's asked me a question, so let's quickly answer that. What times do you normally come online in the VAF? So we have some kind of standard sessions that we do. On Tuesdays, we do training, squadron-wide training, and that's at 8 PM UK time. And on Thursdays, also at 8 PM UK time, we do a weekly mission. We often do like a server takeover on a Saturday, and then throughout the week there are random flights going on. We even have a channel where people can ping to say that they would like to do some flying, and then anyone who's available and would like to join has the ability. So we do stuff all the time, but the main sessions are on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 PM UK time. Cool. Okay. So really, all that's left for me to say then is, yeah, please subscribe, like, thumbs up, comment, all that fantastic stuff. And yeah, just leaves me to say it was very nice to be with you all again. Please, safe. Ta-ta.